Hey guys, it's me, Nick, from Nick's Ramble ASMR, and this is my first video without headphones in, so I hope it works out okay. But today I wanted to focus on talking about why I think it's important to be afraid, / why I am okay to be afraid, / why you should be okay to be afraid. So right now I'm sitting 7 o'clock on Monday, Halloween, October 31st, and in 30 minutes I have a read through of my short film script with a cast. Basically, I'm afraid of having all of these actors read my script out loud, and I'm afraid that they're gonna read it and be like, what did I sign up for? This sucks. That's what I'm afraid of. And I don't know what you're afraid of right now, but I think it's okay to be afraid because it means that you're stretching outside your comfort zone. I think if we are always in our comfort zone, we don't grow. And what's the point of living if we're not growing, right? So whatever you're afraid of right now, whether it's like anxiety for hanging out with someone, or you're nervous for a new job, or you're nervous to move, or it could be as small as I'm afraid to, I don't know, go get drinks with a person, or I'm afraid to sleep in too late. All these things that you're afraid of, I think they're kind of like markers in your life. And I think it's important to ask yourself why you're afraid. And I feel like most of the time it stems from fear. So for instance, I'm so afraid of this read through where the actors are going to read through the script or get to do it on Zoom. And I think it comes from a place of fear of, not being good enough, them not wanting to do the project, and basically them seeing a vulnerable side of me that I can't control how they view me, and that's terrifying. But I think it's also really important. I don't know about you, but I kind of think if you're never afraid of anything, you're kind of not living. I think you're gonna get bored. And I think whatever you're afraid of, just ask yourself what the best outcome could be and what the worst outcome can be. I should do this more often, but whenever I actually feel really, afraid of something, or let's say like anxious about something, I like to do this thing where I like separate a piece of paper and I write down everything I'm thinking about that thing, all my fears, all my thoughts, everything. I write it all down until everything's out of my brain, and then I give it maybe like 5 minutes. I go like walk around and do something, and then I come back. I look at the list, and then I basically go through it, and I basically figure out which ones are facts about what's going to happen and what are actually emotions. And what you will realize, and what I realize half the time, is a lot of them are just emotions. They're just fear-based, and it helps to ground you because you realize that, oh my god, it's going to be okay. And in reality, I think we kind of hurt ourselves more in our brain than we do in real life. Like, it's never going to be as bad in real life, and if it is, it's only for a quick second, where I feel like in our mind we like to kind of be afraid and stay afraid because it makes us feel something, right? I think we're always trying to feel something, and I think we hold on to being afraid. But yeah, I'm afraid about this read-through. I am also always afraid that maybe I'm not doing the right thing in my life. I don't know if you get this. I don't know if it ever goes away. I feel like it's that existential thing about being like, we're always told that, time is so limited and everything, and it's supposed to make you grateful for the moment that you have, right? But I feel like a lot of the time it kind of stresses me out. I don't know about you, but it stresses me out about being like, okay, if I am really limited on time, why am I not doing more? You know, why am I like lounging on the couch watching TV? Why am I not out and active? And you kind of can get in the cycle of being really guilty on yourself, and I hate that because it makes me feel bad, and even thinking about it makes me feel bad. But yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I challenge you to think about what you're afraid of. When you clicked on this video, I wonder what you were thinking about. And if you are brave enough to share in the comments what you're afraid of, I think you'll be surprised to know that you're not alone. And I think realizing you're not alone is actually one of the more powerful tools for overcoming fear. So yeah, yeah, I think it's okay to be afraid, and let yourself know that it's okay to be afraid. It's a normal emotion, but don't let that stop you from doing the things. If anything, let it be a guidepost to explore, discover yourself more about why am I afraid, you know? What is the worst thing that's going to happen? What's the best thing that's going to happen? Why do I care so much? I think that's the thing too. What is at stake for me? And I think maybe most of the time it feels like high stakes, but in reality it really isn't. Like, think about it. Time is limited, but also think about how vast your life is. Your life, you think it impacts just like this, like, let's say we live like 100 years is best. It impacts so much more than that. It impacts people, the next generation and the next generation in ways, you know, maybe you're not going to be put in the history book as your name, or if you are, you know, kudos to you. I don't think I'll be in the history books, but I think your kindness and I think your actions will, you know, go forward. So if you think about it though, that means that what you're doing right now, it matters. But if you look on the big scheme of like big scale of things, it's just one thing. That one thing you're afraid of is just one thing in life. And you know what? I tell my sister this too. When me and my sister, we like to have like all these long talks, and me and my mom do too. But like, whatever you're stressing about right now or afraid of, like, ask yourself if in 5 years, if you're gonna remember this. Go ahead, ask yourself that. Yeah, most likely you're not gonna. And I bet you're gonna be afraid about different things. So then the question is, it's not, you know, trying to run from being afraid. I think it's, you're always gonna be afraid of things. But I don't know about you, but I always find the most reward in going after the things I'm afraid of. I like realizing and discovering that I'm limitless, you know? We hold our limits in here. And yeah, I've been reading this really good book actually recently. It's called The Book of Now by, I don't know, I'll put the author down here. Cool. But go check it out. It's a really good book focusing on being present and in the now, as it says in the title, obviously. And I try and read it because it really brings you out of your head where we like to think about the future and the past, but like, if you actually think about it, all we really have is right now. Like, you're never going to live in the future, you're never going to live in the past, you're just living in this one moment right now. Like, you're living this moment of you watching me right now, and I'm living in this moment right now where I'm filming this for you and for myself. And just breathe. A lot of the things that, you know, we're afraid of or give us anxiety, if we actually take a breath right now, we're fine. You're safe. I'm safe. You're smart enough to handle it, you know? And I'm smart enough to handle it. And the thing is, you need to trust yourself and know that you can handle this. You can handle this. Whatever is thrown your way, you're smart enough to handle it in the moment when it happens to you. You don't need to prep. You don't need to think of all the, you know, problems or all the solutions ahead of time. You are smart enough in the moment when something happens to take a second, analyze, and do the thing. And you know what? If you're wrong, It's okay, you're going to learn from it, but you need to trust yourself. And that's what I'm learning to do too with this short project for me. And obviously, this can be adapted for a lot of things. It doesn't have to be for entertainment or film. It can be with relationships. It can be with anything. But for me, I'm adapting this process of I'm so overwhelmed by the short film. We are shooting. Our wrap day is actually 2 weeks from today on Monday. So we're shooting not this weekend, but next weekend. Every day we get closer, I get more and more anxious and nervous. Just because it's more responsibilities every day of getting everything together. And it's really scary. I'm really afraid. But what's been helping me is every day I take a deep breath. I wake up. I do one thing. The very first thing I do, one thing that I want my energy to go towards for the day. I don't know if you've heard this, but I heard this recently where the first thing that you do in the morning indicates where your dopamine's going to come from. So if the first thing you do is open your phone for the rest of the day and you get your dopamine hit, right? For the rest of the day, when you want dopamine, you're going to look for your phone. But if you read a book first and you get dopamine there, you're always going to be encouraged to read. So that's what I've been doing. That's why I actually have my phone in my bathroom. Except today, my roommate was trying to call me, and so he was ringing the doorbell a lot for me to let him in. But yeah. I was trying to let him in and everything. But yeah, so I start with something that gives me joy that I can start with, and then when I'm overwhelmed, I have on the task thing on my phone. I was like, where's my phone? I'm like, it's right there. It's filming this. There's a task button, and I put 3 things I want to get done in the day. It's just that, and then I'm like, okay, that's the 3 things, and we're going to move on. So I'm like, that's it. We're just going to do those 3 things today, and when I'm done, I can rest. I think it's so important to give yourself time to rest. If you're anything like me, like I was saying before, I have this ideology that, time is limited. We should be grateful for what we have, but because of that, I feel like I need to be doing everything all the time. You don't. Sorry, my phone just did something. You don't need to be doing that. You need to rest, and you need to trust yourself. And that's what you can do. So I've been doing that every day, and I can gain more and more responsibilities. Today, we picked a production designer, which is basically someone that, it's called set dressing. So, for instance, if we were going to film in this beautiful room, they would be in charge of what we see. So, they'd be in charge of, the hats, they'd be in charge of, the comforter, all that stuff. I think they're going to be in charge of costume for characters, and basically just kind of the aesthetics. So it's not the camera, but it's everything they see, clothing, props, everything. We're 2 weeks away. I can go in a video on how we're going to go about this. We have $5,000 in our budget. Side note, which I'm very proud about because I crowdfunded. I should have made a video. Well, my channel's new, so maybe I'll make a video for my next project if I do one, but of how to crowdfund. But I literally reached out to every person for an hour every day for a month and a half, and I reached out to everyone I know. You just can't be afraid. And then I did it, and I was just so proud. But yeah, we're starting to get everything together, and I'm just getting more and more afraid of getting closer and doing it. And basically, it feels like it's an accumulation, and then we're gonna get there, and stuff's gonna hit the fan, and it's not gonna go right. And then it feels like, it's limited. But what I tell myself is I go, Nick, I trust you. I trust that in that moment, you're going to make the right decision. So I'm going to leave that for you then. I'm going to say it again. Nick, I trust you. You can say this to yourself too. Whoever you are, you trust you that in whatever moment is going to come, that you're going to do the right thing. Because you are, and I will too. But I think it's good to be afraid. I think it means you're living life. And isn't it really interesting? Sorry, that's my computer. Isn't it really interesting what makes you afraid at this stage in time? Did this, sorry, did this thing like make you, afraid like 5 years ago? I don't think so. At least not for me. Here, I'm gonna turn the sound off. There we go. But yeah, that's kind of my ramble. I'm nervous. We're gonna do the read through right now. Wish me luck. And yeah, if you're brave enough, I would love to hear what you're afraid of right now. It can be as big or as small as you think it is. It can be super casual. I'm afraid of dogs. I'm afraid of the rain. I'm afraid to, maybe gain 5 pounds. I'm afraid of whatever. And I think it would be cool for us to see that. And then also maybe if you want to add to like, so you're afraid of something, and then maybe, why you think being afraid of it is a good thing. I don't know. That might be a lot too. But yeah, or if you could just also, and in addition to that, if you could just like this video and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. I really want to find a community of people that are kind and ambitious and caring and really just want the best in each other. And I hope this platform is that. And I hope we can see each other grow in this life. I think that's a very cool thing about YouTube and video right now, is that we can connect with each other. And even if we've never met in person, I'm rooting for you, and hopefully you're rooting for me, and we can go on our own journeys, and hopefully one day they'll intertwine. So yeah, with that, I hope this wasn't too loud with no headphones, and I hope you have a great day, a great night, or whatever part of the day it is for you, and I hope you treat yourself well. And remember that it's okay to be afraid. You're strong and you're smart, and just trust yourself. You're going to do great. So, yeah, with much love, I say adieu. Bye. See you soon.